welcome back to Once Upon a Tiny Farm. Today, in this video, I'm going to do two things. One is going to be planting some garlic cloves. And the second thing I want to talk about in this video is reflect on this past farmers market season, which was my first ever selling at farmers markets. And I want to reflect on some things that I learned and talk about some goals that I have for next year. And I'll do that while I'm planting garlic. So let's get started. I got a bunch of different varieties, but the one that I'm going to be growing the most is called Czesnak Red, or it's also known as Purple Stripe. But the reason that I'm growing the most of them is because it says they have about 10 to 12 cloves on each bulb, and that enables me to plant a lot of these. I don't remember how many pounds. I only got a few pounds of them. I should have maybe like 130 cloves of they are a little bit tinier than I would like.
I like that one too. That was really good.
Yeah. But what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to basically build my own seed stock. So I'm going to plant a lot of these Czesnak Red cloves this year, and then harvest them in July of next year. And I will save all of those, and I'll decide how much garlic that I want to plant for the following year. So that's what my idea is with this Czesnak Red. I'll be growing most of that. I also have some elephant garlic. These are, let me get one out. These can get to, they say, about a softball size. Even this clove is huge. That's just a clove. So I will have a few of these elephant garlics next year. And then I got a couple samplers. This is from Annie's Heirloom Seeds, and I got one of their garlic sampler that came with a few different varieties. One is called Metechi. Then there's Music, and organic Armenian garlic, and then there was the Czesnak Red, which I got already. So I'm going to be trying to grow a lot of different kinds of garlic, but mostly the Czesnak Red or Purple Stripe garlic. And I'll sell a little bit of them next year. So this is the Czesnak Red garlic, Purple Stripe. This one is very purple. I never planted garlic before, but seems very simple. You break open the individual cloves. You want to keep the skin on them. I guess we're going to eat this one. So what we want to do is get your individual cloves, get this rooted end is going to go down into the ground, and this pointy end is going to be facing up. And we're just going to put them about 2 inches into the soil. We're going to space them 6 inches apart, and we're going to do that all the way down this bed with the Purple Stripe garlic. So I can totally tell why when you're buying garlic, it's expensive, but it's even more expensive when you buy the cloves already individually pulled apart, because that just took quite a bit of time. A little bit annoying, and yeah, so I actually ended up getting maybe half of the cloves were a little bit small, and I just am going to be using them in the kitchen, I decided, and we're going to save the larger cloves is what we're going to plant, because these larger ones have the good genetics, and that's what we want to grow into nice large garlic bulbs. So now I'm going to plant them here. I'm using this tool that I really like. It's called a Hori Hori knife, and what I like about it is, like when I plant lettuce and things, I do them 6 inches apart. And this, I don't know if you could see, but it's got a measurement on here, and it goes up to 6 inches. So when I'm planting, I can very easily put, well, first of all, you can use this to dig the hole, and then you can go 6 inches from the other hole and dig your hole, and it just makes it really easy with spacing. So I got a lot of good use out of this knife. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to plant them, get these cherry tomatoes out of the way. Oh, got sweet potato in there. Just going to put it down in the soil and then cover up. And we're going to do this all the way down.
I'm really good at planting.
Yes, you are. So as I said at the beginning of the video, I wanted to do a little reflection on this year. Yesterday was our last farmers market of this season, and I feel really good about what happened this year, because at the beginning of the season, if you go back in my videos to the beginning of the Starting a Farm vlogs, my goal was to sell at a farmer's market as many weeks as I could, and I ended up selling at the market for 15 weeks. I did 15 weeks. The last 14 of them was at the market in Harrisburg, and that was very successful. That I ended up finding that market in Harrisburg where I intend to stay, next spring. I plan to be back there. So that was successful to me, the fact that I set my goal to do it. My goal was to sell at the market each week and bring my stuff. And I did that. And I made some money. Now, I didn't make a profit this year. I didn't expect to make a profit. But I did establish a little niche for myself with the salad mix, and also with carrots. For whatever reason, there weren't a lot of people growing carrots, and the weeks that I brought my salad mix and carrots, I had really good weeks, my best weeks. So next year, my goal for next year is to double down on those winning crops. And another thing is that I only did Tuesdays. This farmer's market has a Tuesday market and a Friday market, and next year I would like to do both days. This year I only did Tuesdays, but if I could do Tuesdays and Fridays, we could have a nice little supplemental income from our tiny little farm, and I would feel really good about that. So that is what I am going to be trying to do next year. Another thing, and I guess it's the reason why I'm doing this while I'm planting garlic, is another goal of mine is to bring more crops, more things to the market. There have been so many days that I was driving home from the market with my wife, and I said to her, "Oh, I wish I had more things to sell. Oh, I wish I planned better and brought more things to sell so I could potentially make more money at the market." So next year, I'm going to bring a lot more of those things like carrots and salad mix. I need to bring more, but also I need more supplementary things that also sell. Things like green beans. I only had green beans about 2 weeks this summer because I wasn't planning on really growing a lot of it. But the weeks that I had it, I sold all of it. So I plan to do green beans the entire market season. Another thing, garlic. Obviously, I'm going to have some garlic to bring as well for those times where I sell out of my salad mix and carrots and I have nothing left on my table. It'll be nice to have some garlic. And I'm also going to be planting onions early in the spring next year. And, oop, forgot a sweet potato. And I'm going to do some other things. I'm not sure yet. Other supplementary crops that did well for me were radishes. I didn't do beets, but I plan to do beets next year. Also, to have a really nice and colorful market display. I really do want to have it pop when people walk past our table, because as a small farm we can only do so many things. We can only grow so much in this amount of space. We're on, I think it's about 1/8 of an acre, I figured out, and if we can only grow so much, we need to make it colorful, we need to make it pop, and we need to make sure that everything is good. We focus on quality because we can't do the quantity. Quality over quantity. And that's what we're going to focus on more next year too. So, like I said, a goal of mine for next year is to bring more things to the market and sell more things. And how we're going to do that is by utilizing more of the space that we have. So the field, our main plot, which isn't right where I am right now, our main plot is 4,000 square foot. And we only used half of that this year. So in order to make my goal of selling 2 days a week at the market, I'm going to have to use that entire 2,000 square feet for all of that 4,000 square foot plot we need to use. So that is going to be something that I actually already started. I have my chickens over there, and they are tilling up the existing grass and dirt, and they're helping me fertilize the ground that was grass, and we're going to turn into a market garden plot for our lettuce mix next year. Another goal for next year is to start selling at the market a lot earlier in the season in spring. And this year I got to my first market while growing everything unprotected in the field. I got to my first market in the middle of June. And in my past videos, I showed you that I just created those poly low tunnels. And those low tunnels will get me in the ground early April, maybe late March, depending on the weather. I can get some carrots and lettuce started, and hopefully I can get to the market in mid-May, about a month earlier than I did last year. And that can mean a lot. That's a lot more money if I can get to do 2 markets a week. That's a big difference, getting that extra month in the spring. And also I want to be able to sell later into the fall, which I'm not doing this year because we're about to have another baby any day now. So I cut my season a little short, but I could have very easily gone a few weeks into November. So next year, with the help from our load tunnels, we'll also be able to sell later into November, which will be cool. I could probably do 5 or 6 months I could be at the market next year, and I'm really excited about that. And the last thing, not really, I guess it is a goal, I want to get a tool called the Greens Harvester. It's made by Farmer's Friend, and this tool would allow me to cut all of my baby greens, like arugula and spinach, and my beet greens and my baby kales. All of those baby greens I've been cutting by hand, and took me hours to collect all of that, to put into our spring mix. But with the greens harvester, I could come along and just get all of the greens I need very quickly, and it would save not just my time, but it would also save my lower back, which I feel very old lately because my back always hurts after harvesting, but that would really save me a lot of time and back pain. So we are going to try to see if we could get that for next year. That would be a game changer, especially trying to do 2 markets and manage 2 kids, because I don't know if I mentioned this on this channel, but I'm also, my number 1 job is I am a stay-at-home dad. So the kids come first, and it's going to be a little difficult to manage all that, but next year I imagine you will see me at the market with my baby boy, baby Matthew, in the baby carrier, and he will hopefully help me sell some produce at the market, because he's got no choice. He's coming, whether he wants to or not. Now, the last thing I want to say, at least about wrapping up this first market season, is that I'm very grateful to have found this market, not just because I established a little business for myself, but because of I made a lot of new friends with many of the vendors at the market, and before this year I didn't know anybody in the farming field that was interested in a lot of the things that I was doing. I did a lot of this on my own. I learned a lot of this stuff that I'm doing on my own through other people's YouTube channels, mainly through other people's YouTube channel, but not specifically through other people. I didn't know anybody in farming, and I made quite a bit of friends at the market with other vendors. And you would think selling at the market, it was kind of a competitive thing, that you know, vendors wouldn't talk to other vendors about what they're growing and stuff, and wouldn't want to give tips to a new person like me to try to help someone out that's new to the industry, to the field of farming. But that wasn't the case at all. Everybody was so kind and welcoming, and I think more grateful to that than anything else. Is just making a lot new friends, and it opened new doors in my life, and I'm very grateful to all of my fellow vendors at the PA Open Air Market in Harrisburg. I thank all of you for helping me out when I needed it, especially on the very last market yesterday, when my tent, I thought, was about to blow away, and I of course forgot the weights for my tent, and a few people lent me some weights to hold my tent down. I appreciate that. There's a lot of good people out there in the world, and sometimes it's hard to remember that, but yeah, grateful to make new friends. It's always good. So lastly, to end this video, just want to say thank you to everybody who supported us this year, our first year selling at the farmers market. Of course, I want to thank everyone for supporting our tiny little farm, and let you know we'll be back next spring, hopefully in the middle of May, I'm aiming for. I'll keep you all updated on that. Thank you to everybody that has been helpful and supportive to us at the market. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you to all the new subscribers we have. Appreciate you following along on our journey. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.